Dear colleagues, we continue our working day. Now, next topic, elections in Moldova, possible repercussions for Ukraine. Our guests are Hanna Hopko, MP, head of the Parliamentary Committee for Foreign Affairs, Viktor Romaniuk, MP, Narodnyi Front faction, and by Skype, Hanna Shelest, chief editor, and also politician from Ukrainska Prisma, head of the board. We are giving the floor to Ms. Hanna. Good afternoon, dear journalists, dear Ukrainians. On October 30th, Moldova will hold the presidential elections. And we have some preliminary forecast that the candidate will be elected in the second round. In the second round, according to the forecast, there will be two candidates. One will be pro-European, the other will be pro-Russian. So from here, from Ukraine, we will trace the developments of election process. Ukraine risks to have the neighbor which will be the source of Russian destabilizing influence in the entire region. Why Moldova presidential elections are so important for Ukraine? Because our border is more than 1,200 kilometers with Moldova, and the very many Ukrainians live in Moldova, and Moldova is an arena now where the Kremlin influence is struggling against European choice. Ukraine got visa-free regime. Moldova got visa-free regime with Europe, but Russian propaganda is huge in Moldova, and they try to make influence on the minds of Moldovians. So on October 30, the elections will start. It is extremely important for us. The choice of Moldova people is sovereign. We will support as a state, as MPs, the Moldovan people, their willingness to build successful state. Along with Druzhba representatives, we visited Belzi in Moldova, and we debated on education and language issues there. Today, when we have not so much time till October 30, it is very important for us who will win in the elections in Moldova. It will mean for Ukraine whether we will see that Moldova goes along the European way, or it would be under the Russian influence. Those statements which were declared from some presidential candidates in Moldova, that Crimea is Russian territory, they are contra the resolution, they are counter the resolutions on territorial sovereignty and integrity of Ukraine. So we want candidates on presidential elections in Moldova not to speculate on this topic and support territorial integrity and sovereignty of Ukraine. Now I am giving the floor to MP, the member of Druzhba group, Ukrainian Moldova Group. Good Good afternoon, dear Ukrainians and citizens of Moldova. The state of Moldova now faces a big challenge. This is an intersection of roads between Europe and Russia. This challenge is caused by two simple things. Moldova, like Ukraine, is former Soviet Union component which tried to integrate into European family now, but Russia, the former dominant on the former USSR space, tried to maintain its influence in its territory. It happens there just like in Ukraine. There are Russian TV channels which try to influence Moldovians and destabilize the situation in this state. They try to make an image of Europe as some negative image. And they try to draw the country back to Soviet values. We would like to state that the Soviet Union is our past and we will never return back. You should understand that you will get poverty and destabilization and you can lose everything you have now. Whatever Russia would promise to you, those people who declare integration to Russian Federation, they should understand simple things. Between Moldova and Russia there is a big country like Ukraine in between, which is now in the warfare against Russia, which will never allow Moldova to integrate with those structures you are promised to. If some politician would declare Crimea and recognize Crimea the territory of Russian Federation, Ukraine will take measures, even such as blockade at customs and blockade of individuals and goods. This would cause losses, huge losses to Moldovan economy. Russia sets very simple objectives, not to allow Moldova to integrate into the EU. The second is to impoverish your country, and the third is to destabilize the situation in general. These challenges Moldova faces, as well as Ukrainians living in Moldova, so they should understand that living in Moldova and partaking in the elections, they should understand they choose the way forward to Europe or poverty and destabilization. We met citizens of Moldova, of Ukrainian region. We saw the problems, we saw the world outlook, the mentality. People try to replace the real things with just their hopes. So Moldova should become the part of European states. We should understand that we should stand for our democratic values. All those Kremlin politicians and technologists of politics, they will not can't do anything good. Ukraine have passed all these things. You can see the answers on Ukraine's practice. Russian Federation has never placed people on as the top priority. They just have the priority as building and developing their state, their governmental authorities. So Ukraine now has annexed Crimea and the east, where the warfare is ongoing. Russian tanks, Russian weaponry, Russian mercenaries, they are killing Ukrainians. I don't think that such challenges are desirable for Moldova. We hope that the tanks of Russia will not achieve Moldovan territory because there is Ukraine in between. But remember that Russian Federation would like to use you and then just to landfill you. Don't make any rough statements. Crimea is Ukrainian territory. It was Ukrainian territory and it will remain Ukrainian territory. No one can change this. We have by Skype Ms. Hanna Hopko.
Good afternoon. Do you hear? Well, yes, you are given the floor. Thank you very much. I would like to draw your attention to several things. Firstly, you shouldn't make a problem of the fact that these are presidential elections because we have parliamentary republic here. But the main is that government is not pro-Russian, and the pro-Russian candidate also is present, Mr. Don. He is in opposition now, and we should understand that the majority of declarations that are made today, they are made because this is the last week before elections, and the situation is tense, and the Don lost the last televised debates, and today we are speaking that among pro-Western candidates that are the leaders and Marian Lupu is pro-union party that want to join Romania. Speak slowly, please. We have simultaneous translation into English. Thank you. And Marian Lupu is one of the three leaders. He is pro-Romanian, and this raises some problems in society. And those who are anti-Romanian, they want to use pro-Russian views. And Igor Don several months ago was against association with European Union, and the last months he doesn't use this rhetoric. He doesn't speak about the fact that he is against the association, but in an official accredited ambassadors, he said that these are elections. That's why he says this. And as a state, we should react on such statements that were made concerning Crimea, or as it was said yesterday about minorities. But we shouldn't politicize the situation because first he didn't win, and this is directed to internal policy, and we should see the second round, and it will happen because according to the last rating, last week's rating, the 33% maximum is for Igor Dodon, and Lupu Osando 13%. So 25% of Moldovians didn't know for whom they are going to vote. So 25% is a lot. And these ratings do not take into account the data about those who live abroad, who will vote at polling stations abroad. And this can also change the figures in the second round. And this is really important. And speaking honestly, among those issues that are important is fighting corruption, especially after the scandal with the siphoning of billion of dollars from Moldova. So this is 89% are speaking about corruption, and Alessandro has more arguments, and she is a Minister of Education. She fights corruption, and this raises her rating. And in 2 weeks, there was a work compromise, and against the Don there are a lot of articles that about his actions that raise concern, and these 2 weeks can change the situation. So thank you very much. This is all from our speakers. Maybe you have questions to our colleagues. If there are no questions, thank you. And this is the end of press briefing. Till the next time, goodbye.